Included, but you excluded yourself. Can inclusion exist if you are excluding yourself? How can you get mad at those operating and participating in inclusion activities when you decided to place yourself on exclusion island? How can you expect others to know that you want to be included if you wear, speak, and exude a big blinking exclusion sign on your lapel? Boy, did those questions cut deep. I mean, down deep to the core. So deep that I had to stop what I was doing, which was a creative project for my team, to write this down. You see, over my lifespan, I have wrestled between being an introvert and an extrovert. Simple breakdown: introvert is someone who prefers to be alone with themselves. Extrovert, someone who prefers to be in the company of others. Then I came across an ambivert, one who can balance between being an introvert and an extrovert. Because I needed to dig deeper within myself based on the topic at hand, included, but you excluded yourself, to understand what was really going on with the questions that presented themselves, I was ready to get to the root of the matter. I am a very strong believer in going beyond the surface to identify the beginning, the root of these feelings and thoughts. One cannot truly begin to work on these types of questions at the surface level. It is time to get the shovel, pitchfork, helmet light, clothes, and boots made for this journey into what seems to be the unknown. You may be saying to yourself, why do you need to put on all of that gear? Well, if you plan to fully investigate and get to the root of the matter, you should be prepared to get ugly and dirty in the process. Okay, let's get down to business. First, let's get to the N in introvert. N is inward focus. The EX in extrovert is outward focus. Both N and X shows up in the words included and excluded. Inclusion means to be accepted, to be part of. Exclusion means to be rejected, to be left out. Why are we digging if you know and understand the definition of these words? Here's why. Because you cannot be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and have everything your way. Did she go there? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, she did. Oh, do understand, this revelation is not about anyone else but myself. But as my pastor used to say, if the shoe fits, fix it. Well, that is what I'm doing, fixing it. Let's answer the first question. Can inclusion exist if you are excluding yourself? For me, the answer is no. Here's why. If you are willingly excluding yourself for whatever reason, you cannot expect others to include you. When you put on your exclusion mask, you become invisible, just like you intended. So pack up those feelings that you are not being included because you excluded yourself. Next, how can you get mad at those operating and participating in inclusion activities when you decided to place yourself on exclusion island? The getting mad part is due to looking at what is going on around me, feeling and thinking that I'm being purposely left out, only to have forgotten that I have traveled to exclusion island for reasons only I know about. It's time for me to get my head back into why exclusion island was the destination of choice for this moment in time. That inclusion can and will be mine when the time presents itself. Ooh-wee. How can you expect others to know that you want to be included if you wear, speak, and exude a big blinking exclusion sign on your lapel? That part. If you are presenting yourself in a manner that displays your comfortability with being excluded, do not expect others to read your closed mind to include you in what they have going on. You may be saying to yourself, that Jamie is pretty hard on herself. You are right. I am. Why? because this is part of my growing process. The ability to express and own all of my emotions, thoughts, and feelings. For a significant part of my life, I would bottle everything up and not deal with it until it overwhelmed me, which then I would act out in negative ways because I had not dealt with the root of the issue. I allowed bitterness, anger, jealousy, fear, and frustration to take root and bear fruit that was not good for me or those I interacted with. Now, I choose a healthier me, a me that does not want to bear fruit of negativity. I want to deal with the root cause head on so that I can identify it quicker, and the next time it decides it wants to show up, I am prepared to deal with it. So why did those thoughts and questions spring up? I saw something that reminded me of when I was being included, and it caused me to think about why I wasn't included. When the reality of the situation is the fact that I have excluded myself. This exclusion period in my life was intentional and necessary. There are things in me that could not fully manifest with inclusion activities. My bad. Don't get me wrong. I am and have participated in several inclusive activities. Yet when I think about the real mission at hand and some of the previous ways I've operated, I can find comfort in knowing that I am operating intentionally and purposefully in Exclusion Island, that those feelings and emotions I was thinking of me being left by myself, are real, but also acknowledging that I made this decision for myself is too very real. This is me becoming a more mature me, the me that does not allow the negativity to take root. Yet if it does, just know that I'm gearing up to go handle and take care of my business. I love and like me. I know that the better side of me is rooted in positivity and harmony with myself and with others. This is not the first nor the last time I will travel to Exclusion Island, for each journey to Exclusion Island solves a puzzle, sparks creativity, builds, encourages, and edifies, and also reminds me that as long as I'm willing to put in the work, I can continue to grow and produce positive fruit.